know the great thing about some of these crappy new lenses that Nikon and other people are putting out? It makes the really awesome stuff cheap. I've noticed a trend recently on some lenses that I don't mention that often, which are really awesome, by the way. They've been selling for such stupid cheap prices that it's like, I've already got two of those. If those prices are so cheap, I'd almost be willing to buy a third one. Not really. Here's a hardcore example. 85mm f1.4D series autofocus Nikkor. Built like a tank, made in Japan, really damn sharp. Yeah. Now the Zeiss is a better lens, but it's a manual focus lens, and it has more chromatic aberration, but it's a better lens. It also costs a lot of money, even used. Got a couple of them. I've noticed like the 85mm f1.4 D series Nikkor. I mean, those goddamn lenses have been selling recently for like $550. I mean, what the shit? Are you kidding me? The awesome stuff about the new G series Nikkor. Now the 85mm 1.8G Nikkor is the sharpest 85-1.8 Nikkor, 85mm Nikkor that Nikon's ever made. However, everything is not resolution. There is amazing. Just check out the Flickr page, by the way, for the 85-1.4D autofocus Nikkor. The saturation, the micro contrast, the depth. Wow. Now there's an amazing lens. I've got a couple of them. That crazy ass lens is going for like $580 recently on eBay. Well, that's crazy. You should take advantage of other people's stupidity and actually buy that lens. Everybody's selling off, that old crap. Well, that old crap in many instances is actually better than the new stuff is. It's like, well, the new stuff is faster. It's also plastic. It's made in Japan. But yeah, but it's faster. It's a portrait lens. How fast do you need a portrait lens to be? You usually have an issue with your models or your subjects, like, jumping around like a squirrel on crack. It's like, I need faster autofocus. What, for your portrait shots? Of course you don't. It's ridiculous. I need fast autofocus. What, on a portrait lens? Shit, it's a portrait lens. It's not for tracking jackrabbits at 1,000 yards, It's not a 70 to 200 or 200 to 500 Nikkor. It doesn't have to be fast. God's sakes, the hell's wrong with people? It's a portrait lens. It's like some people complaining about macro lenses being too slow. The autofocus is a little slow. It's like, what's the matter? Is your macro subject moving on you? Is that what's going on? I'm not aware of many instances where macro photography requires fast autofocus. Just the opposite. So take advantage of other people's stupidity on eBay right now. I mean, I've seen a few lenses, and that's just one example, that they're just selling for stupid prices, and those lenses are awesome. I'm so glad that, dumb people are getting rid of those awesome lenses, because that just means it's just awesome stuff for cheap prices for people like you and me and everybody. I mean, I don't need any more lenses, but I couldn't believe it when I was like, if this lens is going that low, then there has to be some other lenses in that ilk that are also selling really cheap. So that's the one awesome thing about Nikon coming out with some of this new junk. And it's not junk. I mean, some of it's been junk, like the 105 Nikkor. That thing's junk. I think actually a lot of people, that the reason there are a bunch of those listed is a bunch of knuckleheads are like trying to collect pennies to buy up that 105 f1.4 turd muffin, that horrible new Nikkor lens. Well, that's good. I hope all those dumb people list their stuff for sale on eBay. You and me should be glad enough to buy it. Let them buy the junk. I mean, I know that lens is junk. I've been testing it, got pictures up of it. Yeah, horrible. Some new Nikkor lenses are absolutely amazing, like the new 70 to 200. I mean, that lens, I think I've been having like erotic dreams about that lens at night. I mean, it's incredible. I talked Darren Miles into grabbing a copy of that lens, and I was talking to him the other day, and even he said, wow, you're right, this lens is amazing. It's just because it's new doesn't mean it's junk. That lens is incredible. I had no idea that some of those lenses were so cheap on eBay. That's been a recent trend on a few lenses. That was one of them. So anyway, check it out. Now that I mention this, all the cheap 8514s will vanish on eBay. Happy New Year, or as the Russians say, с Новым годом. Okay? Увидимся. Thank you so much. Goodbye.